when you watched all the stuff that went on during like media and all the things, and then finally the whole something about his father, and you saw Leon Edwards explode, throw something at him, did you think that maybe he would lose composure going into the fight and that might change things? Because I thought, Colby, I don't like his shtick, but it is his shtick. And if you can get under someone's skin, this is where people go, why do you want to get someone mad? You're going to get in a fight anyways. It's no big deal. Yeah. He can only do what he can do. But if you can make them upset and lose their composure, you can make them making mistakes, catch them in making mistakes. And it was the question of, was Leon going to be that person that goes out and makes the mistake of just going out there wild, trying to hurt somebody? Well, he didn't do that at all. He was composed the entire time. He did make mistakes when it came to, I want to prove to you I can wrestle with you.
Which he did well though, John.
Yeah, he did. But it's not don't worry about it. This is, you remember when Daniel Cormier fought John Jones? And in the first time, it got to the point where John had taken him down. And it got to the point where Daniel wasn't trying to win the fight in the end. He was just trying to get a takedown.
Yeah.
To prove I can take you down. And it's like, don't get into that, man. It's an MMA fight. I don't care if you get taken down. So what? You can get up and get away. Get away.
Don't you dare disrespect my boy DC on this show.
Oh, dude, I'll disrespect him.
Don't you dare disrespect my boy DC on this show.
You know it's true. Was he not doing that?
Yeah, at the end, I believe he even came out and said that it was like, look, he was determined to try to get him to the ground. Especially after he had lost. I want to say 2 takedowns in that first fight. But look, back to the Colby fight and Leon. I thought Leon had a great game plan. I was texting DC, I was texting you, and I was like, there's guys that I've sparred with where the speed is just such a factor. Maybe you guys sit at home and you guys are thinking to yourself, Leon doesn't look that fast. He is fast. He is fast. And everyone's
he doesn't load up, so he doesn't telegraph things.
Nope, he doesn't. He doesn't need to. I mean, like when you're that fast, you're going to get there and touch him. You don't need to touch him hard. It's the accumulation of punches that will get it done in the end. And so he just touches you once, gets you thinking about, man, okay, that was faster than normal. That from the very get, I believe, made Colby Covington real hesitant. There's just certain guys that have that. Floyd Mayweather was one of them. Is it the feints, the flinches, the way that he kept switching stances?
He had Colby reaching for things that were never coming.
Yeah. Yep. I'm surprised we didn't get a headshot bang dead. I'm surprised we didn't get that, because there was moments where Colby was trying to parry the punch, and when he parried, there was nothing. There was never there.
Just there.
It was it was never there, and he was parrying all the way down by his waist because there was nothing there to parry. And I was expecting more head kicks out of him, but I also think he was afraid to being taken down, which would have led to losing a round and so forth, or potentially getting submitted or something along those lines. But I thought he fought a good fight. For everyone that keeps saying, these guys, Colby Covington can wrestle, Kamaru Usman can wrestle, Leon, that's his kryptonite. Let's remind people, he hasn't lost since Kamaru Usman the first fight, not the second and the third, but the first fight. I mean, I believe that he came to train with us right after or right before that Kamaru Usman fight. I believe it was right after, because he had lost. And he came to AKA and trained to get some wrestling in. The kid's a stud. And he's 32. He's in his prime. This is his moment. He'll have prime, I think, for at least another 2 years.
2-3 years.
Yeah, 2-3 years easily. But I'm saying, to maintain that title, new kids coming up, new guys coming up, it's never easy, John. You know that.
No.
And so to do what guys like GSP did for so many years, what Kamaru Usman did, it's hard to continue to beat those guys. With Leon, he's got some guys that are like the fresh new blood that are kind of slowly making their way. I know Bilal's older, but Bilal, I think Bilal is a style matchup for him that kind of feeds right now. No, but what I'm saying, let me finish, is a style matchup that feeds kind of right into what he's been working on the last 2 fights.
Oh, no, you're absolutely right. 100% right there. Yep.
And so if you're going to give Bilal the next fight, if you're the UFC, you're like, give it to him now, because all he's been doing is working takedown defense. his takedown defense will not get any better than it is right now. Because he's been working for the Kamaru Usman fights, back-to-back fights. He worked for the Colby fight. Everyone that's fought him before that, he's always worked his wrestling because he knew they were going to try to take him down. He's on point. So if you're looking like, hey, Bilal's 36, I think 37, somewhere around there. And you guys know my opinion on how the UFC is with older fighters. Okay, how can we get this fighter beat so they're not our champion? That's what goes to their promotional mind. And I think I look at, he's 35. Sorry, he's not 36. He's 35. But, Bilal's a tough fight. I believe Bilal has better stand-up than Colby Covington. The wrestling, the strength, I think maybe technically the wrestling's not as good, but his timing on the takedowns is better. His ability to pressure, take a shot, and give shots is better than Colby. I would probably maybe even compare him a little bit more to like a Kamaru Usman. It's a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more caution to the wind on the feet, and a little bit more of aggressiveness is how he fights. Colby didn't fight that way last night. I think a lot of that had to do with the speed, John.
But let me ask you this. You've seen Bilal in the cage with Leon.
Years ago. Not even the same guy.
It's a couple years ago. Yeah. Okay. And this is my point. You saw him, I want to say 2.5, maybe now 3 years, but we'll say 2.5 years ago. Mm-hmm. You saw him in the cage. What is it now about Bilal that makes you believe that is not going to be what we see if they put that fight together?
He believes. And we talking about confidence. He's a believer now. He's a believer in himself.
And that's exactly the thing. What I think is the difference is he's at a point now, especially and it's something to do. When he went and he did the whole training thing with Habib and he was with those guys, something clicked. Mm-hmm. Something in there really clicked. And that was the difference maker with what I see between the Bilal Muhammad of that time when he fought Leon and the Bilal Muhammad that could fight him now. Mm-hmm. And there is a confidence factor. And there was something that he learned out of training with that group of Dagestani fighters that told him, oh, I wasn't working as hard as I thought I was. I wasn't doing the things that I thought were necessary to get to the top.
It's I think he's always done the things that he's needed to get to the top. I think he seems like
he's a hard worker, no doubt about it.
I believe so. But when you hang around with those guys, when you hang around with Habib, you hang around with Islam, and at the time they were young, obviously a lot younger. Umar and those guys, this shit's contagious.
Yeah,
like they you just, if you sit back and you watch, and you're like, okay, not every day needs to be 110 miles an hour, and that was the AKA way. And I'm like, what do you mean you're not sparring today? Like, I was like, what are you doing? Like, what do you mean? He's like, no, I'm tired today. I'm just gonna work some drills against the wall. And he'd grab one of the guys, and they would do 2 hours straight, of just them pummeling against the wall, and it was just repetition, feeling pressure, it's contagious, And maybe Bilal, I don't want to put it all on saying like that training with Habib gave him that mentality, but I think he also understood the importance of structure. Like, there's nothing else outside of fighting. It's when you go to AKA, when Habib and Islam and they go to AKA, they stayed in a hotel in their younger days, and they would walk there. They went to the grocery store. They went to this little like Asian food place called Tunki. It was like they hit little spots, a little salad spot called Tomato Street. But it was all within walking distance from the gym to the hotel, which was all maybe less than 2 blocks. And it didn't matter. They kept their routine. They kept what they did. And people don't realize how important that is in a camp. Don't let outside distractions, little tiny things get to you. I want to go hang out with some friends to watch a comedy show. Nope. They're not doing that. Nope. I need to rest tonight, brother. No. Like, they may go have dinner with you, at one restaurant, but it's like when they go back to their hotel, they get showered or cleaned up, whatever it is. Like, it's structured. And I think that's one of the biggest things that maybe he took away from there. Because when I talked to him, it's like, it's just a different level. It's like, it's everybody in that gym is good. They're all good at wrestling. Maybe they're not the best strikers, but they're definitely not afraid to throw it, and they're not afraid to get hit. That's like if you look at Colby, he still shies away from almost getting hit. I know the speed gives you problems. Against someone like a Leon Edwards. I've sparred with Leon, and I've said it. I don't know how many times. It's that Chris Tucker feeling on, which one of y'all kicked me. It really is. Like, he's so fast. His little shuffle step to the left to the right. And what I noticed last night, John, and let me give a little advice to someone, not to someone, but to people listening. If you guys go back and watch the fight, every time he switches stances, it changes the way that Colby wants to wrestle. And Colby mentally just wasn't able to make that adjustment to get, okay, now I can shoot my single leg. Now I can shoot my double leg. Because as soon as he switched, it was like he was thinking about it. Okay, now how do I do this? The speed scared him. Like, oh, wait, what if something comes from that angle when I shoot? It just made him so hesitant to shoot a double leg or a single leg or press, because Leon was switching stances and then snapping the jabs, switching stances, throwing the leg kicks. It was just beautifully done. Maybe it wasn't to the level of excitement that people were hoping for, but man, Leon, he did things that people just at home probably like, oh, this sucks. Man, he did it beautifully.
100% agree. Okay.